The following program contains coarse language. Viewer discretion is advised.
The best defense is a good defense. You all wish that you could pretend this could be bad. And if we're being honest, I should be dead. Best defense is a good defense. You all wish that you could pretend this could be bad. And if we're being honest, I should be dead. Y'all ain't ready for the prime time. In record time, a high turns into a bye-bye. The burden of my life for everyone else. Death is a...
Alright. What is up, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Can Hooch podcast. I'm your host, Greeny, coming to you from the Southern Comfort Studios. And this is my co-host, Mike. What's going on, Mike?
Not much at all.
Yeah, not much at all, really. So let's bring everybody up to speed on this. So I decided after a while of trying to figure out how to bring the Greeny podcast back together and bring its triumph back, how to do it, and it really just ran its course. So I decided to come up with something else, and I've been talking to a few different people, and they're like, "You need to get back into it. You're good." Blah blah blah. For those that don't know, you can go find. Just Google the Greeny podcast. You'll find all the past episodes. There's a few on the YouTube channel. The really good episodes are like the first 50, and after that, it's a fucking shit show, and it's hilarious. But yeah, so we brought Can Hooch podcast together, and basically this podcast is basically us, the internet, and the crazy shit we're gonna talk about. I being the Florida man, him being the Army vet. We've known each other a long time. I've been in Florida since 2017. Went through Hurricane Michael. Yeah, that was.
Hey. Oh.
But yeah, Mike here's been on the other end of the civil service duty, and yeah, he's done his thing. All right, so what have you been up to, man? Besides moving from where you were to back, I believe you're back in G-Town now.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm trying to get the VA to do something for disability from stuff a long time ago is impossible. Right now they're at a 5-year backlog or something like that. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, definitely. I hear. Yeah, I figure you're dealing with some issues that you feel that they need they should be helping with.
Well, I saw on like 60 Minutes or something like that. They were going to a VA office that closed down, and I found people waiting on hearings from 1997. And I found that last year. They were waiting almost 25 years to get their hearing, and they were long dead by the time they found their records.
Yeah, that's pretty sad, man. That's not how this country should be taking care of the people that went to wars that they created. Yeah, man. So let's get into some stuff that we were talking about. You were talking about Twitter, and I brought up Elon buying Twitter and it being the most craziest thing ever to watch him piss off like half of America, and I don't get why they're being pissed off, because the man is just trying to fix the algorithm and everything else on it. Like, what's the big deal? Your feelings got hurt? It's a social media app. Get over it. Go outside.
Well, that's the problem. Everybody's been living on their phone for too long. From when he took over, that's what I hear took so long, is that they were opening up the books, and Twitter was done. They had no capital. They were done.
Yeah, and
yeah,
and he's been showing the misappropriations all throughout his time on Twitter since he's taken over, and he's doing these Twitter polls, and I haven't been really active on Twitter until he bought it, and I was like, I'm gonna see what the whatever. I'm still not gonna pay the $8 to be verified. I don't know, maybe down the line, if that ever comes a thing. But yeah, so I'm not gonna do that. But I'm gonna get back on there and start using it again like I was before, and see where it goes, because I'm not really using Facebook anymore because I have no. It's pointless. Like, Facebook is like, I don't know. You still see the same people doing the same shit, and it's like, man, get out of your, like, go out and explore. Like, go live somewhere else for a year. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's living in different places. I mean, West Virginia was not bad, but stuff started happening, so I had to leave. It's actually pretty cheap and not a bad place to live if you get settled in the right town.
Yeah, that's kind of like how it is here in Florida, man. Like, it is kind of expensive to live, but at the same time, it's not a bad area to work. It's mostly, retail, or if you can get into to train, which is like you make what is that? Air conditioners for trains, and then you got all your construction and stuff like that. But and if you're not on base, you're either working, you're on the beach, until October, and then after that you're off the beach for like 3 months, almost 2 months, and then you know what I mean. So it's definitely a tourist trapped area, but it's there on the other side of the bridge. It is on this side where I'm at. There's work to be had. It's just people really are lazy and expect everything handed to them. I mean, I've been doing retail. When I got down here, the first thing I did was I pedaled fucking scooters on the beach, and I saw why they canceled spring break, and it got rowdy as fuck, and it was crazy. And then I went through Hurricane Michael, and I lost my car because of Hurricane Michael. But you know what I mean? I found a job. I went to work at a tool retailer. That's all I'm gonna say. But I went to work there, and worked there for almost 4 years, and moved up from a regular associate to a logistics supervisor. And the only reason I left was just the petty bullshit of like store manager not doing his job and pushing things to the side, and other managers not doing their job, and the kids that I worked with from the age of like 18 on up, dude, they're just lazy.
Yeah.
They don't have the work ethic like we did back in the day.
No, they don't. It's either that, or they are way too sensitive about things.
Oh yeah, I had a kid call in one day because he wanted to take a mental health day, and I was like, "Yo, bro, we don't do that here. You got to come to work, man."
Now, looking at a discount retailer as a supervisor,
yeah,
did pretty much whatever that the manager and the assistant manager didn't want to do. And one day there was an argument, pushing and shoving in the line. sexual harassment, and the one cashier that was getting harassed wouldn't say anything about it, or would just give it right back to him, and she came to me and told me, so I was on the phone talking to the manager, trying to get the guy banned. He said, okay, if he comes back in, just trespass and he's not allowed back in the store. And while I was talking to the manager in the office, I got a knock on the door saying there's a fist fight outside. And I was wearing a walking boot, and there was a woman out there. She said, I was calling the police, and I phoned the police, and they jumped in the cars and took off. Like, I could see why they don't want to work the weekends. It's all this crazy crap.
Oh yeah, I know. The place I'm working now, the local one of the local smoke shops I work at, is like in the middle of smack dab the hood. So you get some pretty seedy characters that come in. I doesn't bother me, man. Like, I know what's going on. I'm not stupid, you know. So retail is a fucking nightmare sometimes, but other times, I mean, it's not bad. You can meet some pretty cool characters and get some interesting stories from the old folks that come in and want their vapors or their Delta 8 or creatine or kratom or whatever it's called. Yeah. Go ahead.
The one job I had was working at a liquor store in West Virginia. That was actually a pretty decent job. And I was counting cash in the back, closing up. And all I hear is a loud explosion. I thought, because people will run and they jump over those curbs, and when their back tires hit, they're touching the wall. And I thought somebody ran through the store. And I ran over there to check on the other guy, and he's still mopping. He said, what the fuck was that? Come to find out, it was right across from DuPont, like just a river across. A chemical tank exploded.
So.
He was like, are you done? I'm like, yeah, I'm done. Let's get out of here, man. It's stuck in the store forever.
Yeah. Yeah, man. We're on the business I'm at now is on the corner, and like the trucks that the trucks are supposed to go straight instead of making the right hand turn, and they've hit the fucking building so many times, and lately they've been the gas tankers have been turning the corner, and I'm like, yo, if that hits the building, and they're like, and my fucking manager the one day when he stopped in, he's like, hey, how's it going? You know, blah, blah. I was like, yo, these tankers are nuts. He's like, yeah, if it hits the building, by the way, you're dead. I was like, oh, that's nice to know. He's like, yeah. He's like, that's why everybody sits to the other side so they can run. I was like, that's good to know, you know. But yeah, man, I was there the other day. We were there, and we're talking to an older lady, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I see a Jeep go flying by, and it's rolling on its side, and I'm like, what was that, you know? And I look out, and I'm like, oh shit, Joey, call fucking 911. And I ran out, dude, and there was fucking people already there pulling this chick out of a Jeep. And I looked down the road, just happened to look down the road because I was going to run across the street, and fucking I guess a car that hit her is all the way down the road, missed our fence, and went into the bushes next to this one fucking house. It was some older dude, and yeah, dude, it was fucking horrible. Kevin comes in, he's like, our manager, and he's like, man, he's like, we ain't got that on video. I was like, no, I don't think so. And he went and checked the camera. He's like, no, I just got that car, that white one, just whipping down the road. I was like, damn, that sucks. But yeah, it's a pretty seedy neighborhood, man. Retail's crazy. Like when I was working at the bigger retail place, I've dealt with some pretty stupid things, like customers wanting like free shit for something that their warranty expired 2 years ago on, or you know what I mean, dumb shit. And it's like, dude, come on. And people down here, man, I hate to bag on Florida because I live here and I am the Florida man, but they have no fucking common sense. They don't read. They don't look up. They don't fucking use turn signals. They don't know how to use a goddamn roundabout. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I was looking at a fairly large grocery store, and I was cashier, and there was a guy. You could tell he was drunk because you could smell the booze on him, and he had a little girl with him, and she asked for a piece of candy. It wasn't like, get me this or get me that. She said, excuse me, sir, can I please have this? And he backhanded her, and I had a friend come in there. She came in there to pick me up. We were supposed to go out, and she grabbed me by my shirt because she knew I was going to deck the guy, and the manager came over and jumped in front of me, so the store didn't get sued, and they called the police and came in and arrested him.
People are fucking crazy, dude. We've had where we have cops that frequent our store, and they come in, they see what we sell, and they know what we sell, and you know, they don't care, and they're just like, hey, you got to do what you got to do, you know what I mean? Because there's, I mean, I get they're doing their job, and we have our job, so they can't, you know, and they vape, so they see, you know, that vaping is turning into basically vape shops. Vape shops now are turning into your old school smoke shops because of Delta 8. So you can get your Delta 8 flower, your Delta 8 disposables, your carts, your gummies, your CBD stuff too. You can get your tobacco pipes, your water pipes, stuff for your Delta 8 concentrates. So, you know what I mean? So it's like now it's turning into the modern day head shop, as they would say back in the day. But the way the government regulates these things is kind of messed up too, because they almost made a lot of shops shut down, which they did. But now a lot of shops are opening because of, hey, there's these things, the disposables, the Elf Kings, Pod Kings, Lost Marys, Salt Bays, stuff like that. You know, and they have the Salt Nicks and stuff like that, but they made it hard for actual juice makers to make a real good juice. There's only a few good juice makers around, and it's highly regulated. And I think it's just because the tobacco company couldn't make money off of it, and that's the whole reason why marijuana on a federal level will never be legal, is because of it doesn't make enough money.
Well, they've been making money in Colorado, because Denver was broke. Both broke. And when they legalized marijuana, within a couple of years, they had surplus cash. They can, if they don't govern it up, like.
Yeah, I saw this lady make a comment on Twitter about how Colorado got screwed with the marijuana law, and there's homeless people living on the front lawn and the capital of Denver. And my thought was, well, you guys are a Democratic-run society, and it's kind of the same thing with California, and California is the same way. Look at Skid Row, look at all the homeless encampments everywhere, and nobody's saying anything about it. And I'm not trying to say Democrats are bad or Republicans are good or anything like that, because I'm not on either side of that fence. And I just look at it and be like, how can you sit back and let your community go that fucking horrible and do nothing about it but sit there and trash everybody else and their mom? You should have a guilty conscience for taking kickbacks for that long and just watching shit deteriorate. That's what's wrong with this country, is everybody's turning a blind eye to everything, and they're complaining about the dumbest things, whether it be Twitter or Elon or goddamn fucking Kanye West making a fucking fool of himself yesterday, like on the Alex Jones show. I had to watch it. I watched it. I watched the last half of it, and like, I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, why? And then it to me, it was like a publicity stunt, all the shit he was saying. But it goes back to the fact that this country's in trouble, and everybody needs to wake up and realize, man, like, it's coming to, like, a point where society, by the time I'm old and the kids that are coming up now are going to be running the country even shittier because of the way they're being brought up. I mean, there are some good parents out there, but there are other parents that coddle and everything else, and that's not my that's not my rant. My rant is the fact that, like, this country in a whole just needs to come together and go back to, like, the way it was before the internet. The internet is not your friend.
No, it's not.
And it's that. Go ahead.
The homeless thing is not because of marijuana, because in West Virginia, marijuana is technically illegal, but because I was at the liquor store and it's coming off the interstate and right there's the liquor store, and under the overpass there's a encampment down there, and there's like 75 people living down there, and I think somebody said like 10 or 15 living in the abandoned church that was right behind us. So, and I know it's easier in West Virginia for homeless people because when they go to churches, they get showers and free clothes and a hot meal, but not really a problem. It might steal, but people that live in the town steal way more than they do. They just
Yeah. So, what do you know about this FTX shit? Like, crypto. What do you NFTs?
don't really know what NFTs are. The FTX thing, I know a little bit. But that's, I forget what it's called. What is it called?
I can't remember that, but it's like a crypto, and basically this dude funded it.
Cryptocurrency, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, the guy says they went bankrupt because it was whatever he did and lost all the money, but the theory is they're not able to prove it yet, but it's like 32 billion and change. They're pretty sure he's got it bouncing away in different places.
Yeah, because the blockchain itself. Yeah, well, not only that, but the Democratic Party threw fucking money at it, and there's other people that threw money at it, and like there's a laundry list of people that threw money at it and promoted it and got paid from it, and now everybody else. Yeah.
They're facing sanctions that might not be able to. They might have to resign or whatever because they won't be eligible for is eight, and it was like 4 and 4 Democrats and 4 Republicans that got together and worked on it that were getting kickbacks, so they went and looked into it.
Yeah, I dabbled a little bit into crypto for a bit when Dogecoin first came out, and I mean, I made a little bit of money, but nothing to write home about, and then I'm still going to have to fucking claim it on my taxes, but that's a fucking whole different story. But then I got into Shibu and fucking all these other coins, and like at the end of the day, I was finally realizing after I was sitting there one day on a day off, I was basically pump and dumping, and I'm like, this is fucking stupid. There's no real point into it. I'm sitting here making maybe $1 off of fucking, and maybe $1 after I pump and dump, but then I'm gaining. You know what I mean? in order to gain, you have to short, and it just, to me, it seemed like it was fucking ridiculous to waste time on sitting there. It's not like a stock where it goes up and down. It goes up and then it goes down, but there's a point where you can fucking where it's at a high point where you could sell off some, make some money, and then wait for it to drop back down to a low point, buy some in, and then as it spikes, sell. You know what I mean? It's just not. To me, it just seemed like a waste of fucking money, and I got out as quick as I got in. But I know people that got in when it was like 0.01 on Doge, and they rode it all the way out to when it rose all the way up to like 60 cents, and they made 25 grand off of it. Which, hey, that's nice, but I just didn't have the patience. And then I watched as I did save a little bit and jump into this one coin. I'm not going to name it because everybody's going to flock to it. But I watched it as it went from 1 cent all the way up to $2, all the way up to $5, all the way up to $10. And as it hit $10, I sold probably half of what I had and just watched it flop back down to $5. And then it rose up again, and then it flopped back down to, back down to like $1. And when it was at that $1, I said, fuck it, sold out, and said I was done. And right now, it's almost down to like 0.000004 or some shit like that. So yeah, if you're in it for that type of, it's not worth it. NFTs, that's a whole different ball game. You own. It's a non-refundable token, and you own the image of whatever the artist did. But there are some of them that turned into scams. Like it's just like a pyramid scheme, basically. Except for it involves the blockchain. And if you don't understand the blockchain, and you set yourself up and you throw your money into it, you could be fucking yourself and lose out on a lot of money. And that's what all these kids now. That's what the new thing is. It's blockchain. They're saying that. I read a lot of articles, and a lot of people are saying that this cryptocurrency is going to be the currency of the future. It's going to replace cash and blah 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 blah. And I see where people are using it at like Mavericks games or tailgates and stuff like that. I see everybody switching to regular like debit cards, but I don't see cashless society at all.
No, that's not going to replace. Well, that's not going to replace precious metals or anything like that. Because it's too easy to just disappear with the money, especially if you're a government like Russia or China or whatever. They start up that and they start trading in that stuff, and the money disappears. I seriously gotta replace the dollar.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I do know that like NFL star Odell Beckham Jr. did get paid in cryptocurrency, and he lost, what was it, like $5 million. He lost like $5 million on it, or $28 million or something. $5 million. He lost $5 million altogether on it in like his base salary or something like that. That's where I don't know. These players are crazy. If they know what they're doing and they got investors, then hey, that's all good for you. Did you see that Tampa, Florida is going to be the second home of Space Force?
No.
Yeah, so I guess we're going forward with Space Force, and Tampa, Florida is going to be the second home. Tyndall Air Force Base here in Panama City, it got ripped up pretty good from Hurricane Michael back in 2018, and they're going to be the base of the future, and they just finished the overpass that's going to go from one side of the base to the flight line side so that traffic can just flow and they can go right under. So I pretty much am sure that once they get these 2,500 construction workers in here and they start rebuilding some spots like on the flight line side, it's gonna be probably pretty hush hush top secret over there, like it is at the Navy base here and on the beach. Because I think Space Force is kind of like the Navy, where like they're gonna be doing secret things.
Well, Space Force is just really the Air Force anyway, and they're supposed to, I don't know, be a branch of NASA.
Yeah, SpaceX.
For some reason,
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we'll get him on the moon someday or something like that. But that shit's all crazy. I thought we were done with Space Force once Trump left office, and I guess not. But hey, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, it's protecting our space and land and whatever else it is. But hey, we're gonna jump out of here on our first episode early because we don't have anything else to chit chat about. But definitely stay tuned for another episode coming soon, probably once a week if we can. And we'll be better prepared next time. We just want to get a first episode out. So till next time, check you later.